24 when I welcomed AJ into my life. Just from the very beginning, just super sweet, had lots of energy and was just overall just a really good child. In October of that year, that her cheeks, she just had a really apparent rash and it just looked very raw. Just from that point, October to December, January, is when we started to see a lot of mobility issues. We talked to the doctor and he said, I'm actually going to admit your daughter to Dell Children's Hospital to start the process because I believe she has a rare muscle and autoimmune disease that is incurable and life-threatening. And it's called Juvenile Dermatomyositis. For that first year, it was a lot of understanding the disease, learning about different medications, specialist appointment.
I used to take methotrexate pills, but now I take an injection, and when I found out that it was going to be an injection, I kind of was nervous. But when my mom was doing it, my injection, I didn't feel it but when I was nervous, I just knew it would be okay and I'm really strong.
She did qualify for a Make-A-Wish. One of the things that she constantly had with her was some type of stuffed animal that was a dog. And so we had just a whole collection. When we were approved for the Make-A-Wish, we had received a picture of Leah, the dog, which is right here. And she has just been such a blessing.
Leah is my dog and my best friend. And she loves me.
And so Leah has been with us, I think for about 7 or 8 years now.
Breaking news tonight, the coronavirus forcing millions more Americans into virtual lockdown. Over 75 million people in New York, California, Illinois, and Connecticut ordered to stay at home. The U.S. borders to Mexico and Canada set to close to non-essential travel. A spring break crackdown. Florida communities closing beaches. In Europe, the crisis growing inside the ICU in Italy, the country's deadliest day. Fear on the front lines. ER doctors saying we are on the verge of a medical disaster. Healthcare workers' lives at risk. The surge in students learning from home. Over 50 million taking lessons online.
I think the hardest thing with the pandemic was just that we had learned to navigate and keep her as healthy as possible without not being in a pandemic. So that meant seeing people, that meant going places, that meant her being in public school, just really getting out and enjoying life and doing activities that at first when her disease was found, we had kind of, just were locked indoors. And so when the pandemic hit, it was kind of like taking us back to that place. There were times where we had to isolate and limit, contact because they may have been exposed. And so we've all kind of gone the extra mile to make sure that we're masking up, we're double masking, we're wearing gloves, we're, using hand sanitizer.
Now with COVID, she's even more protective. She still was protective before COVID, but now she's extra careful on who I see and make sure I'm double masking, have hand sanitizer, wash my hands. When I started online, it was harder than in person because in person I focus more because we're actually in a classroom and focusing at school. But at home, there's a lot of stuff going on, there's a lot of noises.
So anytime I think about how long her JDM journey has been, I think it hits really hard just knowing that for like 90% of her life, she's, not known anything other than a life with JDM. It's been important for me to celebrate her journey in terms of how far she's come. It's not celebrating this diagnosis, right? It's about celebrating another year of life, another year of an opportunity to fight this insidious disease. So it's important for me that each year on her JDM diagnosis date, we refer to it as a battleversary.
I use AJ Strong because I'm AJ and I'm strong, and they always said that, my family, once they knew I was diagnosed with JDM, and when I get nervous, they would always say you're AJ Strong. And
even when one of us are going through something, we're like, okay, we're gonna be AJ Strong.
AJ Strong.
I'll see y'all later.
Bye-bye.